Edwin Astwood currently holds the constitutional position of Leader of the Opposition and is also the leader of the People's Democratic Movement political party. On November 11, 2012, Edwin Astwood was elected to be the Member of Parliament for Grand Turk South and Salt Cay. He rose to prominence in the PDM Grand Turk branch after delivering an inspiring presentation on a master plan development for the island of Grand Turk and Salt Cay, and being a powerful advocate for the upward mobility of the indigenous people of the Turks and Caicos Islands. On December 15th, Honorable Edwin Astwood was re-elected as the Member of Parliament for Grand Turk South and Salt Cay, and on December 20th, 2016, he was appointed as the Minister of Health, Agriculture, Sports, and Human Services. One of his main achievements was guiding the country through the COVID pandemic with the implementation of sound and successful measures, policies, and procedures, and by constantly communicating with the people every step of the way. On February 18, 2021, Honorable Astwood was again re-elected for his third term as a representative in the House of Assembly and now serves in the capacity of the Leader of the Opposition. He is also the Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee and a member of the Appropriations Committee. Edwin Astwood is an independent-minded person who is known for being unafraid to speak and to provide strong representation on issues affecting all the people living and residing in the country. Let's welcome Honorable Edwin Astwood to Pathways to Success.
Good evening and welcome to Pathway to Success. I'm your host, Dr. Michael Hunter, and I'm here with the Honorable Edwin Astwood. And we were just laughing backstage. My word, he's an honorary Jamaican too, because he went to two of our most prestigious universities there. And I was born in Kingston, and he was just sharing how much he knows Kingston. Honorable Edwin Astwood, it's a tremendous honor to have you on Pathway to Success.
Yes, thank you very much, Doctor, for inviting me to be on this forum. Thank you for all the success you have been having, and thank you to your listeners, who tune in every week to hear the message that you have to deliver to the people. Thank you very much for your work.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And when you were showing a little bit of your educational background, but for the viewers, can you tell us about your educational background and
yes.
how it has prepared you for your current position as Leader of the Opposition?
Yes, thank you very much. I went to all my primary and secondary school right here in the Turks and Caicos Islands, Grand Turk. And afterwards, graduating at 16, I went to Jamaica. I have an aunt who lived there, and my older brother, he went to Knox Community College, and he would soon be transferring to UTEC. So definitely I would be in Jamaica. When he finished his sixth form and start to UTEC, I would be there. I started first at UE. I did NetSci, but afterwards, going into NetSci, you would have to do 4 years and you'll just have a NetSci degree. So I decided to go to UTEC, where I will be trained in medical technology, an actual profession, where I can come out and work right away. I did my internship at UE Hospital, work at the National Blood Bank, work at a private lab in Jamaica. So, in my internship, I did a lot of work. I came back in 1998, did a degree in health management and specialized in medical microbiology, that part at UE. And I came back and started working in the laboratory. As you know, medical science, research, straight through for a number of years, rose through the ranks in the laboratory, straight until I reached to laboratory manager. Therein, you always think about that most of the people and myself, we were the same age. So in order for them to move up, somebody have to move out. So, I trained them for my position. I said, I'm going to train a few of you to take my position as lab manager. So I had to move out. So I went to the Nova Southeastern University right in Fort Lauderdale, and did an MBA. So on my return, I was able to get the job as health services manager for a number of years. And so, I was still attached to my people in the laboratory, but now I am the overall health services manager. And 2010, the decision was made to privatize the hospital service, medical service. So a lot of us were made redundant. So we had a choice to go over to the private institution or remain with government. At that time, I applied for and was accepted as the Deputy Parliament Secretary for the Governor's Office. At that time, our constitution was suspended and the Governor's Office was running the entire country from the Governor's Office. The Governor was just about every minister, you know? Yeah. So I gotten a chance to really work in all departments, being in that really high administrative role. And during my second year, the then Parliament Secretary, he retired. So I was the acting Parliament Secretary, all that load came on me. And thereafter, 2012, the opportunity came to run for elections. And that's where I came in. Our party lost the election, but it was by a narrow margin, just by one constituency. So it was 8-7 inside of the House of Assembly. And I was the shadow minister for health during that time. Coming on to 2016 now, our party win the election 10-6. And I became the Minister of Health, and I asked for my ministry to combine with health, agriculture, sports, and human services. Because I always thought that you cannot just think on health alone. You have to think about what you put in your body. So I wanted agriculture with me. And then you have to talk about physical fitness and wellness, not just for school children, but for the whole. So I wanted sports with me. So I got health, agriculture, sports, and human services, and married those three together. We did a number of things, a number of policies. Of course, 1 year after coming into office, we had two major storms, Cat 5 hurricanes in 1 week, which destroyed practically 85-90% of the entire country. So all your wonderful plans that you wanted to do had to sit on the back burner because we had to recover our country, rebuild back schools, rebuild back hospitals, clinics, infrastructure. Then after we did that in record time, we were the envy of the Caribbean. The people wanted to know how our government recovered so fast. We were studying the Caribbean. And just when we started, thought things was wonderful, things was good. Then came the pandemic.
Wow.
At first we thought it was going to be a month or two. And then when you saw the complexity of it and the whole world shutting down, now this is where it comes full circle. So I thought all that lab stuff, all that microbiology was way behind in my past. All of a sudden, everything I learned, you see how God works? Everything I learned was on full display. I had to get up and talk about viruses, how they spread, the possibility, how do you combat it? What immunity, what the vaccines do, and go into detail. Stand before our people every week, 2-3 times a week, answer question after question on medical issues and the virus. And I was like, God really knows what he's doing. All that preparation, all those years in the lab that I thought doing microbiology, all those years in Jamaica studying and learning about viruses and the microorganisms, I thought that was a thing of the past. But I didn't know at that time that, God just was doing all the background work. We don't see it at the time. Yeah. But when you place there, and, I was confident at any time. And I would tell people, look here, I hear what Dr. Fauci is saying, but I have a different point of view. His textbooks isn't different from mine. Right. Yeah, they would say, well, Public Health England say this. Dr. Fauci say this. I say, yes, but I'm telling you what I have learned. I would sometimes, one of those pictures you saw me had up a textbook. I was showing them when I was at UTech. Look, you see on this side, we have influenza virus. On this side, we have coronavirus. See these things I get highlight? We learned about this in UTech. This is nothing new, but with the magnitude, it's something new. So everything came full circle at that time. And, you were able to really give the people the information and the assurity of, exactly what is happening. And I thank God for that. So a lot of times we don't see when God is molding us. We like, okay, this is just work. It's a career for me to have. And then you leave it and think, well, that is behind you. And everything came full circle. And right after that, how everything closed down, we had to find a way. Our government had to find a way how to keep the country open because we couldn't just close down and nobody coming. Tourism is our number one industry. We had meetings cabinet meetings from 6 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock in the night, just debating the stress of that almost every day until we find a way where we can balance, where we can have the country open. How can we have construction continuing? Some way of life going on. And we were successful in doing that. And then came the elections. People, still, bitter about the whole things, what is going on in the world. And we were voted out by a landslide. But surprisingly, the people in my constituency voted for me. I won very big. It wasn't even close. And it was strange that only the Minister of Health was re-elected, and I thank God for that.
Congratulations!
Yes, but you felt so bad because all your teammates, your soldiers who you went to war with for 8 years, and you're not seeing them on the sideline. And I was happy many of them help in the background with me. Being the only one from my party elected inside of the House of Assembly. That is a very big burden. Because we don't have, you deal with health, you deal with immigration, you deal with economics and Ministry of Finance. No, I have to prepare for everything, every minister, every presentation. And happily, we are able to get an appointed member. So each party can appoint a member to the House of Assembly. And I have a wonderful appointed member who really assists me and work with me, So, that's in a nutshell coming from leaving school up to today.
Wow, I mean, such great accomplishment has prepared you for this great task at hand. And as Minister of Health, Agriculture, and Sports, and I like how you combine all of that, health, agriculture, and sports. I love soccer. I'm a health buff, and also I'm into soccer big time.
Okay.
And human services. So you have such a great portfolio. So much on you as Minister of Health, Agriculture, Sports, and Human Services. But I want to congratulate you on your landslide victory also.
Yes.
It shows that there's a great level of success and excellence on your life. But what were some of the key measures, policies, and procedures that you implemented to guide the country? I know you were telling me a little bit, but what were some of the key measures and policies and procedures you implemented to guide the country through the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yes. One of the things that we did with working with our brothers, co-ministers and Ministry of Tourism, we found a way that we could develop a travel portal where you can enter certain information, and the health team, a team will evaluate that information in record time and give you, a plus. Yes, you can travel to the islands. Also, we found a way to keep open the high-end villa rental. So all the high-end, all the big mega millionaires and billionaires who want to come in, we had a policy, we have an option where they can come in, provided they have their doctors there. There's who they can afford. Most of them travel with their health people. If you have all this in place, you can come in. Also, we had to find with the construction workers, how we're going to test them, how much times, what we're going to require of them in terms of vaccination, in terms of testing, which days they go to work, how they will work, what are the working conditions that they have to work under. And also doing that, we brought in the Cuban brigade to get extra doctors from Cuba. We had to decide, with treating COVID people, oxygen. So we had to find a way to get 2 oxygen generators so we will never run out of oxygen. That was a fight. We didn't have the PCR capacity here in the Turks and Caicos Islands to do testing right away. So we had to develop all our testing from scratch. And of course, myself being a layperson, I was very, hands-on with that part, developing all our testing capabilities on island, evaluating the quick tests to get private doctors on board with the vaccines, choosing which vaccine to go with, seeing which one was show the best results at that time, and choosing which one will be readily available, making that choice early that we were one of the first countries to have a vaccine. And I must say myself, I always put it to it that the vaccine should be like salvation. It is here if you want it. I will urge you to get it, but I will not force it on you. That was always my point of view whenever I go in the media, that I would encourage persons with underlying conditions, other conditions and over a certain age to take the vaccine, to be on the safe side. But if you are a young, healthy 19-year-old, you feel you have a wonderful immune system, no underlying conditions, you do not need to take it if you don't want to. I'm not going to force a 19-year-old, healthy 19-year-old to take a vaccine that their body do not need. So that was my position. Obviously, other people had other positions that no, everybody should be vaccinated. But my position was no, you shouldn't force it to people. It is available for you. Now, I took it. I was one of the first ones to take it because I go and see my parents every day. Even though I'm healthy, I wanted whatever backup because I'm in public. I'm moving up and down. I have to be in meetings, and I go and visit my parents, very often. So I wanted to protect myself, But my daughter, I didn't pressure her. She was 19 years old, very healthy, never really ever sick. So she never took the vaccine, and I didn't force it. So you had to be able to work. Doctor, one of the things that I couldn't get past people to buy into, we had that if you are vaccinated, you could come to the country. But I said, well, if someone had the virus and they recovered, they're even better than the people who was vaccinated. So if you can prove that you recovered from the virus, you have that natural immunity, you can come. They no, they need to have the vaccine. I said, but that's not following science. You're following something that Dr. Fauci damn saying. But true science, if you had the virus, the main virus, not a vaccine with a portion of the virus, you had the real deal. And your body fought that off and you recovered in no time. You probably had a little fever or something and your body recovered. Fully immune. The whole thing is immunity. And I was like, well, those people should be more than welcome than the people who just get a little vaccine because they fought with the main guy and recovered. But, that one I couldn't get past, So that's how it was for me, and dealing with during that COVID-19 time.
And you said your country, you develop a vaccine. That's what you said, right?
No, we choose which one. We look at.
In your opinion, which vaccine was better for the people? But I've never been vaccinated. Last year, as a matter of fact, we wanted to come to Turks, but there's a vaccine mandate, so I had to sit it out until this year.
and that was something I was against also. I was like, why do we still have this vaccine mandate? I understand what's going on, but I didn't think we needed it for that long. I still think at that time I was asking them, people who had the virus or being exposed to it, let them come. Let them come. They have immunity. And at our time, at first, the Pfizer vaccine was showing the most promise. From all the data that I went through the Pfizer vaccine, and we were able to get it through the UK way before a lot of persons in the Caribbean, and we were able to administer that right away. And we haven't seen no link side effects. I'm not saying there wasn't, but we haven't seen one link to the next that we can say, yes, this is a direct result from the vaccine here in the Turks and Caicos Islands amongst our people. But probably amongst other people, they might have seen other results. But amongst our people, we haven't seen it. And I'm like you, like I said, if somebody is confident in their immune system, they're healthy, why would you take a vaccine, if you don't have to? Why would you put something in your body if you don't have to? And that is coming from somebody who really, truly believes in science and not using it just to get a political narrative out, and that's when I start to doubt things. I was like, so the whole thing is immunity. And persons who are unvaccinated but had the virus, they have a wonderful immunity. But you're saying they can't come. But me who get some vaccine, I don't know if it's working, I can come. I was like, that doesn't make scientific sense. That isn't what I learned about immunity. The people who unvaccinated, who recovered from the virus, is much safer, much better, much suited. They have a much better protection. This is what immunity. No, we got to go by this. I was like, this is not making sense, and that was the fight I had, fighting against what Big America is saying, Public Health England. So who's you little black boy inside Grand Turkey, for Turks and Caicos to challenge Dr. Fauci and Public Health England,
Well, what I liked about you, you kept your ground and you challenged them, and that's the great hallmarks of a leader
Thank
that
you.
will be equipped to lead a great nation as the Turks and Caicos Island. We're going to take a short break, and then we're
Yes.
going to come back to the Honorable Edwin Ashwood.
Thank you very much.
Are you looking to advertise your business? Look no further. Pathways to Success is offering 3 30-second slots each Sunday of the month for $100. Please contact 561-331-1524 for all inquiries.
Did you pick out this detergent all by yourself? So cute.
It's half the size and it's half the plastic. And there's nothing cute about unnecessary plastic. Christy, the average person generates over 200 pounds of plastic a year. And there are 329 million of us in the US alone.
Do you want paper or paper? Yeah.
7 generation Easy Dose laundry detergent. Half the size, half the plastic, all the clean.
So where were we?
The playoff.
Oh, yes. Only a handful of teams remained, hailing from kingdoms far and wide across the college football land, all vying for a spot in the playoffs. Each team led by a great coach, fearless players, and defended by the loyalist of fans. Soon, they would take part in an epic playoff battle for the right to call themselves national champions. And to the victor go the spoils, a beautiful trophy, a grand celebration, and bragging rights that stand the test of time.
And then what happened?
We'll find out soon.
Ready?
All clear. Come on out.
Chewie.
Welcome back to Pathway to Success with the Honorable Edwin Ashwood, the distinguished, accomplished, a man of great vision, and one who, you said you went to UWI and did a little, while you were there, was it practice or
Yes.
apprenticeship?
Yes. So I did. My first year of college, of university, was at UWI at NetSci in the NetSci program, but I didn't finish UWI. NetSci transferred over to UTech. Did
Right.
my medical technology, and when I did health management, my microbiology training was at UWI.
That's where I was born. University of the West Indies. So I said,
Yes.
wow, this is so amazing. That's where I was born, University of the
Yes.
West Indies. You know,
Yes.
so it's just amazing. You know, it's a small world after all. But Your Honorable, can you explain your vision for the development of locally owned and operated businesses
Yes.
in the island and the measures and policies you plan to implement to support them.
Yes, thank you very much for that. We just finished with our budget debates this week. And one of the things why I was so upset with the budget, what is happening in our country and in the world today, it isn't going far enough to empower our people. We come here, budget after budget, talk about furniture, one or two roads, one or two buildings being renovated, the same things every year that we do. And there's no real empowerment of getting our people, getting our people in good positions, getting our people their businesses. And the things that can help, I saw it cut. For instance, they had this WOX program. This is where people can apply for government contracts if you want to do cleaning, light reconstruction, painting, those type of works. And they have cut it from 8 million down to 3 million, down to 900,000. And I was like, wait a second, this should be going the other way. Why this is coming down to under 1 million this year? This is where we encourage all those young men to be entrepreneurs, where they can get a business license, a petty contractor's license, a small contractor's license, and do these jobs. And a lot of them want to do it. And I told them that a lot of these young men prefer being their own bosses. A 9 to 5 is not going to work for them. They want to work from, say, 5 in the morning till 11 o'clock in the day, and then go sit down, hang out with their friends or their colleagues or so, and relax themselves. And there's nothing is wrong with that. But they don't mind. They want to work hard. They want to work. So I told them this is a wonderful avenue that we can get all the young men, directed, all the guys who might want to go down that wrong path. If they can be their own boss, they don't have to go and steal or do anything, break in, because you have this job. 11 o'clock, I'm finished. I can sit down. We can do a little cookout. You cook up or so. We can sit down under the tree, drink whatever we want to drink, eat whatever we want to drink. And the next day again, early in the morning, we get out, do our work, finish up, and their life is good, and then they can move on. But also with the small business unit, again, there's no increase. We have a AME program that is for startup small businesses. That is the same amount. I told them that we had to be increasing that amount. My government suddenly would be increasing that amount. And you have to have pre-approved loans for just about everybody in the country. Whoever want to do it, you come with your business plan, checks and balances. This loan is already approved. And they have about $10,000 or $20,000 cash grants. And what I'm telling them, $20,000 in this day and age cannot do anything. You should start with at least 50,000, 75,000, 100,000. And we are here in Grand Turk, for instance, we have cruise ship destination. You have 5,000 to 10,000 people landing every day. Golf carts, they need all the little amenities. But in order to do that, if somebody can get a 50,000, for instance, they could bring in about 5 golf carts and start a small business. The guys can do that, You can open up a store selling retail items to tourists or so, but $10,000 cannot do it in this day and age, and we are a tourist destination. So I told them that one of the programs that I will do, again, already pre-approved loans. You want everybody to buy in. Whether you work for government, whether you have a job, whether you're in college. Yes, you're in college, but have your business going. If we don't do it, people from the outside, from North America and Canada most especially, will come in and dominate. So they'll have a whole chain and price our people at the market. And that is what we're seeing happening in Providenciales and so. So we have to protect those things, but we have to give them the opportunity. Look here, $50,000 available. We have the checks and balances to make sure that your business is functioning. Of course, some will go by the wayside, but you have to give them a chance. So I told them, look here, I don't mind. I would do it, but you have a chance to increase this from 10, 20,000 to 50, 75, 100 starting this year. And once you reach that, you have the opportunity to come back another year and say, look, like how with the talents and, with God give 2, 5, look what I did with your $100,000. I made this business successful. So now give me 200,000, because if I did this with 100,000, imagine what I can do with 200,000. So all those things that you can do as a government that isn't out of your control, and you can do that in your one budget cycle. You can budget for these things right away, And that is the things that upset me, where I saying that this government now isn't preparing our people to be honest, to be producers. And that is one of the things that I want to do. I want the people to be independent, that they don't need politicians. They just need us for the formalities, passing laws in the House. But in terms of their survival, they don't need to come to us for nothing, because we make them producers of wealth. And that's what I want for my people. I want my people to be producers of wealth at all levels.
I like that. I like that vision. I like that initiative that you're taking in that beautiful island of Turks as the opposition leader. Those things that you have suggested, great. That you want to empower the people to have their own wealth.
Yes.
And when you empower people to have their own, that means you're teaching them to fish.
Yes.
So it works out much better than just depending on a 9-to-5 job.
Yes.
Create everyone to become their own boss, and then the play field become a bit leveled. I like that.
Exactly.
That's great. That's very good. But what other initiatives do you have in mind to promote youth? Because that was another great thing that you said that would help youth development. Also in the area of sports programs in the Turks and Caicos Islands.
Yes. Okay. I'll start with the sports. What we're lacking is a national sports program, a national sports policy. Now, once you have that policy in place, that will entail what coaches you need, what facilities you need. One of the things that we do not do good here, and what I admire from Jamaica, from time I was there, how Jamaica trained athletes to be professionals. Yes. After the amateur period, 19, 20 years old, our athletes go by the wayside. But I love how Jamaica, and I think Trinidad, do a good job of that too. Yes, training athletes how to be professional. We don't do that. We think our athletes are washed up by the time they reach 21, 22 or so. So we don't have, we don't have any program in place to take those athletes from the collegial or the amateur ranks to the professional.
So you're honorable. Are you saying that I can come and apply for soccer program director for your national sports development?
Yes, no, that's the thing.
Sports.
Yes, and through FIFA now, they're trying to strengthen soccer, and I must say that soccer is starting to pick up, but it's much more needed. That is needed. And we need to put money in it. Going out of the days that we saw sports as something that you do when you're young and you get a little bit of popularity, and then afterwards is not there. And again, me being in Jamaica, being there around the UTEC track house guys, working out with them, so I have a different point of view. We see what sports can take you and what sports can do for countries, and we want that in our country. We send a lot of our athletes to Jamaica, the young athletes to Jamaica to train. And so why don't you can't battle that and put a facility here and get some of those coaches to come in Ireland for these athletes? We can look at which island, with not least distractions where we can have a top-notch sports training facility. We can even attract athletes from around other countries, because they like this coach who's coaching down in Turks and Caicos Islands. I'm going to come here. You have the dormitories, the weightlifting, the programs, the nutrition, everything on point. So we have to think outside the box, and not just for track and field. We have to do it for other sports also. Now, this year, the government was talking about, okay, we are putting in an Olympic-sized swimming pool, something that we never happened. But when you look at the budget, it's only $200,000 for this year. I was like, wait a second, $200,000 for this year, and then they have the $2 million and the $3 million for future. So I was like, why are you fooling the people like this? Why are you letting the people think they're getting this year? If you're talking about a historic budget that we have so much money in the bank, why can't you put that whole $5 million in it for this year, and let's get the people their swimming pool, the kids. Now, the thing is, for what they always say, well, why didn't you do it? I say, well, when I was there, we were at the process of finding the land, getting the costing, so we were doing all that legwork. It's because it wasn't there. We were the ones, through my ministry, we were looking at the land. So we didn't reach to getting the money out. We were getting to purchase the land to put it on. Now all that is completed. I told them, now you have to take it to the next level. But I tell them they're dropping the baton. I pass it to them, and folks try it, and they're dropping it, and the money isn't there. So that is what we have to do. We have to, in terms of sports development, and have the facilities where, for instance, off-season football players can come down. Their families could be at beaches. They can do their training. Off-season basketball players come down. This you come anyway. Your family, bring your entire family, but you can train right here. We have facilities right available. So that sports tourism, the colleges, you can have some of your preseason games right here in Turks and Caicos, this little and invitational tournament right here. Build the facilities and they will come. There was a movie that called Build It and They Will Come. Build the facilities and they will come, But in terms of other opportunities for people, again, some of our islands, we only rely on all the big hotels and so. But what I want a lot of our people to get into the villa rental, the boutique hotels. And I was saying we should have a package that, look here, any group who want to do a boutique hotel, you have the land available. We'll stand surety for the loan. We'll put so much money in escrow to stand the surety for your loan. And you will split the profits with government. Once you pay off that, you're free. The government do not want to own anything. If the business isn't making money, we're not getting anything. Once you begin making a profit, we will split the profits. But we'll stand the surety. We'll give you the land. We'll break up, instead of giving one external company 50 acres of land. No, let's break that up into half acre, 3/4 acres. Okay, this group can put on up 15 rooms, 15 high-end rooms. This one could put up 20. This little group of islands, we can put up 10. So you spread the wealth around. So now you have an country where you say, look here, you see all those high-end villas and stuff? All that is locally owned. That ain't no big foreigners coming in. All those high-end villas up there with our tourists coming in, that's locally owned, And the islands like Provo, where you have it, you start buying the little land that you have left. You go in as a government and you take that off the market. This is for our people. Now, which one of our people want to do this kind of development? 20 room, 30 room, high end. We're going to stand surety. We're going to find a way to get you that money. Yes.
Wow. Believe me, all these ideas and visions you have shared for the island will make the island the #1 destination.
Yes.
Not only for in the Caribbean, but you mentioned something about sports athletes.
Yes.
Athletes. That's one of the best way
Yes.
to go to get our youths to the next level, and to bring in also professional athletes who get a break with their family. They can come in because the facilities is here. Your idea that you have is a great one. I've not spoken to another political leader that has such a great vision for the country, and the vision that you have, believe me, is great. But how do you plan to advocate for juvenile justice reform?
Yes, that is.
What changes would you like to see in the current system, and what steps would you like to see? What steps would you like to take to increase funding for senior citizens and pensioners in this country?
Yes. Okay, I'll start with the juveniles first. One of the things that I dislike is how easy it is for young people to go into jail. Suddenly we were trying part of legislation of passing alternative sentencing, we call it. Now, if you and I, our kids on the basketball court and they have a big fight or so, why, and nobody really draw any weapon, there's just fighting, why should one of them be charged and go to jail? If a young man is caught smoking a marijuana, why should they go to jail? Okay, you're going to clean up this. Every Saturday you have to come out on the road, clean up this. Every early in the morning, we need to have alternative sentencing. Certain things shouldn't be going to jail. That's my first thing. Certain things shouldn't mean that you go to jail. Now, once you're in jail, we need to have the works program in the prison that you can come out. You can earn money while you're in prison. You don't get to spend it, but you earn. You can do government projects. So, okay, we had these projects. You come out and do all the cleaning, all the painting. We had a system before. When I was a kid, I used to see the prisoners out doing these works, and that went away. So all your trusted prisoners can come out and make money, because what happens when you have these young guys in jail, and then once they come out, they don't have no money, they don't have nowhere to go, their family don't want them there, they go right back into the environment, they need money, what is going to happen? You need an alternative for them. And people would say that, okay, well, these guys, they cannot get a business license, they cannot get a job because of their criminal record. I say, well, that's where the government program, with the works program come in. Well, whether you get a criminal record or not, you should be able to get one of these government clean and painted contracts. And in fact, some should be carried off, section off for these persons, especially for them that, look here, you're coming out of prison, you may not have a job, but these jobs are available for you to get back on your feet. Get a company, start a business, So we need to have things directed towards them. But also we need to get into the schools. And we need other people to come in and talk to our young men. And not just talk to them one time, take them out, have a luncheon with them, not just go to school and give a lecture. Say, okay, this weekend I'm picking you all up. We're going to go this way, we're going to go that way. And also what we normally do, whenever we have all these youth seminars around the Caribbean or so, we always send the best students, the ones who are in church, who are, no problems. I say, but most of the times they're not the ones who need it. It's those troubled young men that you need to send and let them see a different world. Let them interact with different people. Let them see a different way of doing things, that the world is bigger than their little environment. So I'm always telling them, yes, it's good to send this set of people, but don't forget them. They are the ones who really need it, who really need to go out there. So I want a program also where we can take these young men and show them other places, other way of doing things, other way of life, how other people work hard, other ideas. Look, this is what they're doing, in Negril. Look, let's take you to, Bombay. Look at all these businesses. Which one you think you can do? Let's go this way. Let's go that way. Show you a different way of doing things. So we have to get out of the way that we're thinking. And also, we need to really improve on performance arts in our country. We are a tourist destination. We need performance at every level all day. Southern Islands need performance all day. Not everyone is going to be academically inclined, but some students, you direct them to dance, to music, to performing arts, and show them that you can make a career. In fact, you can start paying them even when they're in high school. Okay, look here, your dance troupe, you're going to perform at this hotel. You're all going to get paid for this, Of course, somebody, a teacher or some program manager is going to be in charge of that. So Southern youth, you take them out into the work programs, so that they can see, look here, I think yourself need to go this. I'm not the brightest, but I have a career. I don't need to go down this path. So there's a lot of things that we can do and we should be doing. And I would want to see here, and again, I learned so much from Jamaica, the school of music, the school of dance, this one, school of this, So I want to see those schools here, where you have these schools with just focus on performing arts. And get our youth, show them a different way. So not just the work, the performing, everything. Get our youth channel in a different direction.
I like that. Well said. Wow, that alone would have me vote you to be the next premier of the island. Name 3 top things you want to accomplish for the country.
Yes. The main thing is, first of all, before we go to political independence, I really want my people to be economically independent. Because one of the fears is you go independent, but your people are still left behind. Your people are still the lower class citizens. Your people are not the owners of wealth. And that's why you see all my programs is pushing our people to be producers. So one of the first things I want to see is that our people are, leaders in the industry, in the tourist industry, in the business industry. And I do think we have a small window. This last wave where our people can, be on top of that wave. I think if we miss this, we're going to be like how I see they have in Hawaii, where they're calling themselves price out of paradise, that they cannot afford to live. Native Hawaiians cannot afford to live in Hawaii because it's too expensive. They cannot get homes or so. And that is the thing that I don't want to see happen here. I don't want our people to become price out of paradise. So we need to get them producers. We need to make sure they have access to houses, ownerships. And I want to have a real, I'm looking at again, I do so much with Jamaica, the social housing program that is taking place. I see where the Prime Minister Holdness giving people their keys and, and I love that. I love that program, and I downloaded it. I'm looking at it. I'm seeing how best I can get that in our context, that you can give people the keys. You have the land, and not just you at different levels. You have the social housing, but also what about those professional people? The middle tier government employees, other employees throughout the country. They need a way where government, okay, we're going to build these, not the high-end houses, but real nice, decent homes where civil servants, where people who make a certain a month can just apply for and pay a small, small mortgage to the government, to the banks or whatever every month, something that you can afford. But the houses are already built, so you don't have to worry about fighting with the bank and your money isn't enough to get that loan. No, these houses are built. You're already on the program. This is your key. This is your house. Now, if you sell it, you have to sell it to a next Turks and Caicos Island that way. But we want to get our people in homes. So we need to do with the businesses, we need to have a very strong housing policy, where we can get people land and their houses. Because right now, like I said, a lot of our people cannot afford to be their homes. And what is happening? You have the housing market being driven up by people from North America, Canada, and the United States. The piece of land that we would probably think is worth $20,000 is being sold for $150,000 or so, and we can't afford it. The house that was built for $40,000, all of a sudden it's on the market for $200,000 and $300,000, and we cannot afford it. A decent house in a decent area in Providenciales now costs about $450,000. And how much of our citizens working, a normal job or a normal 9 to 5 can afford that? So we need an alternative. So we need to get that housing program going. And of course, dealing with the youth, and opportunities and training. I think that this day and age, we need to do a very serious training with scholarships, external scholarships. We are at this point in our country, no matter what you want to be trained in, we're going to have a scholarship for you. Instead of this $3 million that they put in, we need to put about $20 million that we're going to do training. We're going to train everybody who's trainable in this country, because we bring in so much from outside, but we need our people to come up. So everybody who's trainable, if you want to be a chef, we'll find, you can apply for a scholarship to go to this school to be a chef. You want to be a sculptor, we'll find that school for you. You want to be a doctor, we'll find that school for you. Wherever you want to do, we will find it. So we need all these things. You want to be a music teacher, we'll find that school. You want to go farther in dancing, you'll find that. Because right now you can only get scholarship for, the usual doctors, lawyers, business, probably one or two things in agriculture, so we want to extend that anything that you want to get trained on, we're going to make sure you're trained. You want to be a trained mechanic to take care of Ford vehicles, only we're going to send you school, whatever, and get those people. So some training will be 3 to 5 years. Some training will be only 6 months scholarship, but we'll get our people trained. So we have to do that. And to add to that, the fourth thing, what I just touched on, the agriculture. We have to be serious about agriculture and what agriculture can work in our setting. That is the hydroponics, the container farming, all those things, because we are prone to hurricanes. So you want something that is more secure. So Southern Islands, you need to look at all the new methods of container farming, where you have areas where you can set up containers. So you don't have to worry about the weather, pests, hurricanes. So you have those produced right there. And, our soil, there's a lot of salt in it, so certain things can't grow in Southern Islands. But if you have this new methods of farming, the container farming, and so all those things we have to do. And, I'm researching that to have it ready to roll out as soon as we get there.
I like it. I like that. Honorable Edwin Ashwood, you're a man with a great vision, and you're a man that I really, really have. Just listening to you, I would have voted for you tomorrow. All these things that you have just laid on the table, believe me, I've been voting for you because you're a man with the vision and the vision that you have, that everyone will rise up to be equal. And I like that equality. Yes. I like that. What are some of, you're being such a brilliant and accomplished young man. What are some of the challenges that you have faced in your political career so far?
Yes, the main thing is one of the hardest things is to get people to be united. We have so much things that divide us here. We have islands that divide us. We have communities. Just like, like where you're from, if you're from this side, this parish or this, you divide by that. Then we even go farther. If you're from this island, you're divided that way. You're that island, you're divided. So that one of the hardest things is to bring our people together and unity to show that we can debate. You and I can have different points of view. But at the end of the day, we have to be one Turks and Caicos Islanders. And I even say it in the House of Assembly, I will call that is my premier. Half of the people, more than half of the people vote for you. So you are the premier of the country. And I have to hold your feet to the fire because you are my premier, like it or not. But we are one people. We can debate all we want, but we are one people. So one of the hardest things for me is, getting people to unite and to put away petty differences. That because you're from this island, because you're from this community, because you're from this family, you shouldn't be in this position. That is one of the hardest things for me. The work-wise, with work, in terms of work, is just the amount. Once you can find the time, so I won't call that hard. It's just pushing through it because, if you get the time, you can push through it. So that isn't challenging. It's just pushing through it. But the hard thing is to really get our people buy into unity, instead of just saying it. We can have all the difference. You can cheer for the Lakers and I can cheer for the Celtics, but you are still my brother. I don't have to hate you because the Lakers win, and you don't have to hate me when the Boston win. That's how I look at it. So that is the hardest challenge for me, to get our people to be united and to support our people and to believe that not because it's coming from somebody who look like you, who sound like you, who from the same place where you means that is incorrect, and you need someone who look different from you from the outside, someone with a different skin color, someone with a different color eyes, hair texture to tell you that this is right. To get those changes amongst our people are the main difficult challenges. The work is hard a lot, being, the only one elected and having to cover everything, myself and the appointed member, that is okay. You can get through that. You can pace yourself. You can push yourself more this time for a week or two and then pull back. But the main challenge is, to get our people to realize that and to see into the future, because I believe the next generation is going to be seeking independence much harder than our generation. We are the generation that is in between. The old ideas, the old people, all the people who cling to that colonialism style, God save our queen, God save our king, they can do no wrong. To us now, who is in between, in the future, who, that's not my king, I don't care, but monarchy, do away with it. Why are we still singing God save our gracious king? That's the future. And the generation, and me and you, and we're caught right between that, so we have to do that transition, not offending the old, but we have to take care of the future. In the future, most of our future people want to see an independent Turks and Caicos Islands. And we here who are in the middle, we have to start bringing that future into reality.
I like that. It would be great to see Turks take that step that Jamaica took some years ago.
Yes.
To become their own, independent island. With such a brilliant mind, such great vision for the island, that beautiful island, and for the people. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Yes. Well, my main thing is I really want to become the premier of the Turks and Caicos Islands. I do think that is something that I have to do at this time, because I have a 19-year-old or 13-year-old, you have to say, okay, at this level, I can only do so much. And you saw the levels that I went through in my life. Every level, you were able to do so much. And then you realize, okay, I'm limited. In order to affect change, I have to go to the next level. You reach this level, you did so much change, you can impact so much change, but you realize that I have to go to the next level to further impact change. And the change that I want to impact now, I have to be in the position of a premier to impact that change. But definitely, the main thing is when I'm there, I'm always training people to take my job. So me, if I become the premier of the Turks and Caicos Islands, I will be training those individuals to take my job, because I don't want to be there for a lifetime. I have a role to play. And just like Moses and Joshua, I'll take you this far, but somebody else must do the next step. My work here is done. Let me sit down and watch others. But I want that opportunity to be the premier, to be the one guide and the policy. the main one guiding the policy, the main one deciding what goes into the budget, the annual budget, the main one deciding the vision of the government for each year, and how we're going to use our resources to accomplish that vision. I want to be that person, deciding that how we're going to impact, what policies we're going to bring to the House of Assembly to really impact our people. No, this isn't what impacting our people. Let's leave this for now. I want this policy come to the House of Assembly. We need this bill. We need this ordinance in place to do what we need to do now for our people. So I know those things is needed. It's coming, but these things come first. Let's deal with the people first, and then the other things we'll bring in. And I wanted to be the one who get to decide that, who get to decide what comes to cabinet, what development for each island. Okay, we need this. The people want this. Let's give the people this. Let's go our way to get this for our people. Ministers, I want you to deal with your communities. I want you to deal with what the people say they want. Don't bring me this other stuff until you deal with what the people say they want. All this other stuff I don't want to see on the cabinet agenda until we deal with the people's main concerns first. And you have to be in that premiership seat to be able to make those decisions.
Wow. I must applaud you. Honorable Edwin Ashwood, what a great interview. You have touched every topic, everything that is, I would expect for a leader to want to see his people to prosper and grow in. You have that great vision.
Thank you.
A man of eloquence, a great orator, a visionary. You've heard it from the best right here on Pathway to Success. The Honorable Edwin Ashwood. I'm going to say part Jamaican, full.
Yes. Yes. And I tell you, Jamaica is my second home.
It's a second home. You'd amaze the places that their honorable knows. I'm looking forward to also visiting your island very soon. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to have Pathway to Success come on the island, and you take us around and show us the different areas that you really want to see changes made. And this also will attract investors.
Exactly.
Investors to come in. You mentioned something about agriculture. That was something that I remembered. I was looking into Turks agriculture, that part. Instead of bringing in everything, you can start producing your own on right in the island, which maybe you have started. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, you started that already.
No, but on a very small level. Very small level.
I believe, and that was something you mentioned earlier. That would be great. You talk about the vaults, the containers. That'd be something that I believe that investors should look into if they want to invest big and be a great contributor to that beautiful island of Turks, the Turks Island. Want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, Honorable Edwin Ashwood. And thank you for enlightening us, and as well as your islanders.
Yes.
And I can see you as the premier very soon, one of these days. Great having you on Pathway to Success.
And thank you and your audience for having me here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I want you all to enjoy your week this week on Pathway to Success. Remember, you are the one that can create your own world and your own environment. All you need to do is believe in yourself and you'll win. Have a great week.
Yes.